In this video, we'll take a look at how to use the Bible and the biblical commentaries to write our first paper. The first thing that it's important to realize is that we're dealing with 2 or 3 different types of books here. The first one is the Holy Bible. This book here is just a Bible. It contains the sacred books of Christianity, including the first book in this collection of books that make up the Bible, Genesis. So for this paper, you will be reading chapters 1 to 4 of Genesis, which is just a few pages in this sacred text of Christianity, the Holy Bible. If you don't have a Holy Bible of your own, you can simply go to your web browser and type in BibleGateway.com. This is a great source for reading the books of the Bible, right? The text specifically in the Bible. So in this case, if you went to BibleGateway.com, you could type in Genesis 1. This means Genesis chapter 1. You could also, if you wanted to do a specific verse or groups of verses, do something like Genesis chapter 1, verse 2 to 5. It would also just bring up that text. For the case of this paper, we want to read the whole chapter to start off. So we'll start just by putting in Genesis 1 over here. And then over here is the translation or version of the Bible. And you can see one of the great things about this website is how many they have. The one that you are going to use on this paper is the New American Bible Revised Edition. So I'm not sure what they'll start you off on in your browser. I always use this New American Bible, so the site seems to have gathered that information and gives it to me first. But let's say you were on the BRG Bible, right? That was the default. Just get on the scroll down and scroll down till you get to New American Bible Revised Edition. Once you get that information in, just hit the search and it will show you Genesis chapter 1. And you can read the entire Genesis chapter 1. Now look how Genesis chapter 1 starts. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was without form or shape, with darkness over the abyss and a mighty wind sweeping over the waters. That's verse 1 and 2 of Genesis. All right? I want you to remember that, because if you are using a study Bible, I want you to make sure that you are actually reading Genesis. Okay? So let's go back and look at those 3 books on this slide. Now, this is the book everybody's going to use. I want you to read chapters 1 to 4 in the actual book of Genesis, in the actual Bible. This book, the Catholic Study Bible, contains the Bible. It has what's in here, right? But it also has commentaries. So it is a little bit more confusing. It is sometimes difficult for students to find the actual text. So if you open up this book, you'll find a lot of scholars writing about what's in this book, as well as the text of the actual Bible in the book. Now, this is an excellent tool for this class. And this is the version of the Bible that you were advised to buy to use in this class, and also your next core theology class, Theology 320. You'll find in this text, like I said, you will not only find the actual Bible, but you'll also find resources that you can use to help you write the paper, because it has a lot of commentary. Be careful, though, however, that when you're reading this text, that you're able to distinguish what is the actual text of the Bible and what is the commentary by the scholars talking about what that text means and when it was written. So, for example, if you use this Catholic Study Bible, you won't find Genesis 1, right, opening with "in the beginning when God created the heavens and the earth," until about page 600. All right, so really, please be careful. You have to use the table of contents. You have to look and be very careful to distinguish what is the actual text of Genesis if you're using this book, and what is the commentaries. Now, the advantage is you'll have commentary right here with your Bible. Now, this is the third type of book we're using, which is just a biblical commentary, right? And here's a Bible, here's a Bible, here's a Bible with commentary, here's a biblical commentary. This book, this type of books, they do not usually contain the actual text of the Bible. They will simply contain scholars' writings or commentary about what the books of the Bible mean. Once again, you have to be very careful when you're reading them. You have to make sure you're identifying the correct chapters and verse of the Bible that you're trying to read. And do not confuse these commentaries with the actual text of the Bible. Every time I teach this course, that usually happens to a few students. Well, they'll quote the biblical commentary as if it is the story itself. No. These are the stories we're focusing on, the stories from Genesis in the Holy Bible, chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. This book, this type of book, the biblical commentary, is going to tell you what scholars believe the authors of this book meant when they wrote it. And then to make things really confusing, we have our Catholic Study Bible that has this and a little bit of this too. Okay? So please take your time, make sure you understand the differences between the commentaries and the biblical text itself. And make sure you start by reading Genesis 1 to 4 in the Bible itself, which can also be found on BibleGateway.com, or another good source for the Bible text on the internet. Just one more thing here in BibleGateway.com. When you finish chapter 1, you'll see that there is a little bit of commentary here in the footnotes. So you'll get a little bit of commentary right there in the footnotes, but no major commentary sections. After you finish chapter 1, to go on to chapter 2, you just click that right arrow and it'll bring up chapter 2. And you can go on like that to read through chapter 3 and 4. Okay, any questions? Please text me. We can set up a time to talk on the phone, or send me an email. I can respond to you soon.